All right, good morning and welcome to another insightful edition of The Agenda, the show where we dissect the issues shaping our nation and beyond. I am Chike Obogu. Today on The Agenda, we're diving into a topic that is as timely as it is controversial, and that is the concept of the populist ideology and the Governor Seyi Makinde model. The populist ideology and the Governor Makinde model. In an era where leaders are often accused of being out of touch, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State has emerged as a figure who is redefining governance. Is his approach a genuine populist revolution or just some savvy politics? We'll explore the roots of populism, its global manifestations, and how Makinde's policies fit into this framework. All right, so joining me this morning is a political commentator, Ignatius Ofino, or you call him Ignatius Ofino, the right pronunciation. Ignatius, welcome to The Agenda.
Good morning, Chike Obogu. I'm delighted to be here this morning.
Yeah, it's good to have you again.
I'm delighted.
The last time we were here, we discussed the anarchism ideology.
Yes.
And now this is the populism ideology we are discussing now. It's good to have you once again.
I'm glad to be here this morning.
Well, we'll break down this concept of the populist ideology within the hour. And there will be time for your questions via social media, particularly the app X, and also text messages. On the app X is at Dominion Cast, Remember to use the hashtag #TheAgenda, hashtag #TheAgenda. That's the hashtag we'll be using moving on. Drop your messages, and remember to tag me to your tweets. My handle is @followchike, so I'll be able to read out your tweet on the show this morning. Ignatius, the populist ideology is a term thrown around a lot, but is often misunderstood. Let's start with the basics now. What does the populist ideology exactly mean to you?
The ideational approach to populism defined populism as a team-centered ideology that divided the society into two antagonistic groups.
Okay.
The pure people and the corrupt elite, and sees politics as an expression of the popular will of the people. But there is one thing, that populism as a concept has become a subject of controversies, because in some clime they see it as what? Anti-establishment and anti-political sentiment. But when we are talking about the populist ideal, it started in the late 18th century. So when we are saying populism, to me, I see it as the popular will of the people. Dante, a 12th century philosopher, asserted that the hottest part in hell should be reserved for those who in time of moral crisis preserve their neutrality. When we are talking about public governance, it's a social contract between the government and the governed. But there is one thing that is very germane: the popular will of the people. Now, who is a leader? A leader sees what the people does not see. He knows what the people does not know. Sometimes the people see what the leader does not see. They also know what the leader does not know. But there must be a room for synergy between the government and the governed. But when there is a disconnect between the government and the governed, that becomes a problem. What are the demands of the people? The people will come. This is our demand. This is what and what we need. But the people have entrusted into the hands of the government their sovereignty. Now, the people need what? One, they need greater freedom, which must never be compromised. They need what we call security, which must not be compromised. They need food on their tables, not free food now. Food that can be affordable. They need what we call capital infrastructure. The contract must never be inflated. It must never be a contract scam. The people need what we call quality healthcare system that must never be compromised. The people need what we call good transportation system. The people need what we call good quality and affordable education system. They need a good judiciary, a good justice system. So those are the demands of the people. Now, what about the government? Let your word be your bond. But in this area, sometimes government has failed. Government feels that government want to do what they feel the people want, in opposition to what the people actually demand. For now, the people will say they want a better life. But the government will say we want to introduce a policy in variance or contrary to what the people want. And they want the people to buy or key into that populism. Such type of populism, I call it as what? False populism. Which is false. Whatever the government want to do, they must remember the demand and the yearnings of the people. Now let me give you an instance. When Seyi Makinde came into power in 2019, it was as a result of what?
A coalition.
A coalition, fine. But there was the populist ideal. They saw him as a philanthropist. Because there were some things he has done in the past. Charity, he established a charity organization to help the needy and the poor. So they felt that this one is going to be a good governor. When? Then again, because of the coalition, now the incumbent governor at that time lost public trust. So the people were not even happy with him.
We'll get to the Seyi Makinde model in a bit. But what you just said, your concept, your definition of the populist ideology is an interesting one. But now let us look at it let's look at the Nigerian context, as it were. Our politics is tribal. Our politics is also regional. But populism seems to cut across tribe and region. How has it manifested in Nigeria historically?
You know, when we are talking about the concept populism,
yes,
I have my own conviction.
Yes.
You have your own conviction.
Yes.
If your conviction does not align with my own convictions, it becomes what? A subject of debate. So we have subjective argument. We have objective argument. We have logical argument and rational argument when it comes to the issue of populism as a concept. But let us remember what happened during the Brexit.
Yes.
This was a form of populism. Britain said they wanted to leave the EU because they felt that the euro was a threat to their own currency, pound sterling. So there was the need. The government had no option than to conduct what? Referendum. Every Wednesday, Britons go to where? To go to the British Parliament, the Downing Street. Some of them will go there on a peaceful protest. Mr. Prime Minister, why did you introduce such an harsh economic policy? It's affecting the ordinary Briton as a way of expressing themselves. So here in Nigeria, when we are talking about populism, one of the concepts of populism that happened in Nigeria, we wanted a change in this country. Nigerians fought against military rule. They fought against military rule. You know, in some countries today, let me give you an instance, the Libya issue. Libya, Muammar Gaddafi ruled for 42 years. The Libyan economy was one of the strongest economy. Their currency was also strong. But there was a populism on the social media. That how come one person ruled the rest of you for 42 years? It was the social media populism.
And is that a negative populism, a populistic view?
So the people began to change their orientation that even though we are living a better life, but how come someone will rule us for 42 years? Is he saying that he's the best among the rest of us? At the end of the day, there was the Libyan revolution. It was a populist ideal, though today they are regretting. So a lot of things, it has its positive side, it also has its negative side. But for Nigeria, the issue of populism also helped us, because that was what drive democracy in Nigeria, that all of us were agitating for democracy, that we no longer want military rule. And in 1999, military rule ended in Nigeria.
Would you say populism in Nigeria, because we're looking at the historical concept now, would you say populism was also part of the June 12 struggle?
Yes, it was also part of the June 12 struggle.
Okay.
It was part of it. The people stood, irrespective of race, religion, tribe, region, they voted. The Nigerians didn't even consider the issue of Muslim ticket.
Yeah.
What they wanted was this: we want a civilian regime. We are tired of military regime. It was a form of populist ideal, which was positive. So people are yearning for change, greater freedom on a daily basis, even self-determination. So, like now, people are agitating for a new constitution. It's also a form of what? Populism for Nigeria. But when we are talking about the state level, we want what we call financial autonomy for local government. So it's a form of populist agenda. That is what the people are actually yearning. But it's now left for the government to implement the people's demand. So that is why there has been a variance between the corrupt elite and the pure people. We are talking about the common people, the ordinary people.
You see, when you use the word pure people,
yes,
are there fake people too?
Yeah, they are going to be. Is the government not fake? Let me take your mind back to what Mr. President said, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Before APC came to power, Nigeria was a bit enjoying at certain extent. When the president came into power, you know what he said? He said we have been living a fake life. So now we are living presently in a life of suffering. The president said, I understand the sufferings of Nigeria. It was as a result of what? The pains from a painful surgery. And we all knew the policy he introduced. He introduced two policies. The first one was with, one, the outright removal of oil subsidy. It was to solve a problem. What was the problem? The corruption in the oil and gas industry as a result of what? The subsidy regime. But the president got it wrong. You have to prosecute those who are beneficiary of those corrupt tendencies then. So you have to provide solution, because you know that when you remove oil subsidy, it's going to trigger what we call rising food inflation. There will be hike in transportation cost. There is going to be hike in tuition fee. There is going to be hike in the cost of what? Accommodation and housing or rent. Then too, there was what we call the unification of the foreign exchange regime, which was morally justified. But at the end of the day, what happened? There was what we call the floating of the naira. You don't float your currency when you are not a producer nation. What do we produce in this country? We produce virtually nothing. We are not the one producing crude. Crude is a natural resource. So when you look at the problem of Nigeria today, there's what we call the paradox of poverty in the midst of plenty. So it's a problem. So the problem in Nigeria, we have what we call the free rider effect. It's there. We have the Dutch disease. It's also there. When we talk about the free rider effect, you are talking about entitlement. You know, some politicians today, that is their entitlement to become the president. It's their entitlement to become the governor of the state. It's like the entitlement mentality is what the free rider effect is talking about. When people are benefiting from a natural resource without contributing to it, that is what we mean by the free rider effect. Then we have what we call the Dutch disease. When the development of a particular sector lead to the decline of other sector. Now, because of the oil and gas sector now is developing in Nigeria, now look at the agricultural sector. It has been relegated to the background. So we call it what we call the Dutch disease. So it's a problem in this country. So when we are talking about populism as a concept or as an ideal, to me, I see it more as the popular will of the people. You can see in 2015, there was populism too, the change mantra. Though at the end of the day, Nigeria now discovered that it was a propaganda. Because they made a lot of promises juicy promises. At the end of the day, they did not implement the policy. What they were more interested is for them to get hold to power. So when we are talking about revolution too, revolution is also a form of populism too. The people also have the right to revolt against their oppressors. And that type of revolution is justified. But to the government, they see it as civil rebellion. They see it as civil rebellion. And to me, I don't see it as what? As a civil rebellion. I see it as what? As the need to liberate the people from oppression. So there is a lot of things attached to that concept called populism. But to those in power, sometimes they see it as anti-establishment or anti-government ideal.
Okay, now you've spoken so well. But there's a part you said that you asked, is government not fake? And we need to clear the air on that, because we know credible elections were conducted and have brought in a government led by the president.
Was the election credible?
Well, according to INEC, a result was announced.
Was the election credible?
We have a president, and then we don't say, would you want to still believe that our government is fake as a people in Nigeria?
We have to be honest to ourselves. In the rumor mill, we overheard that it was Peter Obi that won that election. Look at today. Nasiru El-Rufai has now turned himself to become a confessor. He has been making a lot of what? Spurious confession about what they did. So that shows the Nigerian level of election. There is no morality in it. And there must be morality. So when you are talking about populism, you are talking more about the popular will of the people.
Okay, so let's connect this to Governor Seyi Makinde now. He has been in office since 2019.
Yes.
And he was re-elected in 2023. And his style of governance has drawn both praise and criticism. Now, some call it populist. That's free education, health initiatives, infrastructure booms, pension payment, gratuities and all that. But does it fit the populist mold, as it were?
Thank you. I'm not the spokesman for His Excellency.
Yeah, but from what you see.
And I cannot act in proxy for him. But there is one thing I've discovered, what this man said. Niccolo Machiavelli.
Yes.
He wrote a book, The Prince. He said, politicians are typically held in low esteem because they are perceived to be power-seeking hypocrites who conceal personal ambition and hide behind the rhetorics of public service. So, Mr. Governor Seyi Makinde, to me, I see him as a performing governor. But there is one thing you must understand. Good intention is not enough. Let me give an instance. He came into power by reason of protest vote. That was when. So when he now came into power, there was one thing he did. The declaration of assets. 48.1 billion naira. For now, I wouldn't know whether that is a true position or anticipatory. Because the Code of Conduct Bureau must investigate the governor in respect to that declaration of assets. It was very laudable for a governor to declare his assets. But there must be an institution to go and verify, to investigate whether that is the true position or is the governor trying to anticipate. Because as the governor, he has the green pen. The state allocation is a signatory to it. So that's number one. Two, when he came into power, there was one thing he did that was also laudable. He disbanded the ESCO for Nigeria National Union of Road Transport Workers. Was very commendable. The people were excited about it because they felt that NURTW in Oyo State poses a threat to the life of the good citizens of the state. Then now, what did he do? He decided to introduce what we call the Park Management System, PMS, which was also a laudable model that other states in the Southwest has adopted. When you are talking about road infrastructure in the state. There's one thing this governor did. Continuity. Though there was a particular road he decided to revoke. But when you are talking about light up Oyo, you remember that the former governor, late Abiola Ajimobi, when he did his own street light was solar powered. But when engineer Sheyi Make came to power, he decided to what? Redesign it. When he redesigned the solar powered street light, he now changed it to what? Diesel powered street light. Now, what about the diesel? He gave it to a contractor. The people were not also happy about it. Now you see a lot of the street lights. The light is not, some of the street lights are failing. So for now, to me, whether you call it a populist ideal, the intention is what really matter. You must run an open government. Now, concerning the issue of loan, people are also complaining about loan. We have what we call a loan-funded capital project. Loan-funded capital project. Now, when you are talking about fiscal policy of government, there is what we call fiscal deficit. So, what do government do? Government go and borrow money in order to fund a deficit budget.
Yeah, you see, you are taking us through the pros and cons of the populist model of the governor of Oyo State,
yes,
Engineer Seyi Makinde. But before then, critics argue that his style of populism is unsustainable. In 2019, for instance, articles highlighted how scrapping fees and increasing workers' wages might strain the state's finances. Governor Makinde himself said his decisions are not anti-elite, but pro-people. Very tactful there. That they are not anti-elite, but pro-people. Now, is this true populism? Is this true populism, or is it just good governance?
To me, I don't see it as a populist ideal. I see it as just good governance. For political reasons. Okay. We have open government.
But is populism not for political reasons too?
Populism also, in some cases, is for political reasons.
Okay.
But there is one thing. Human welfare must not be compromised. We have the political elite. We have the educated elite. So there is what we call the conspiracy of the elite.
Okay.
Against the society. When we are talking about the ruling elite, now here, when you are talking about the populist ideal, it is more interested about the welfare of the common people as this government take it off the streets. Now in Oyo State today, we have youth who are engaging in what we call drugs. They are engaging in drugs. How many of them has this government decided to rehabilitate? Some of them are just consoling themselves, indulging in drug. Some of them have become drug addicts. I know a drug addict poses a threat to the security of the state and the nation. We are talking about the welfare of the ordinary people. When we are talking about, there is a difference between politics and good governance. When we are talking about public governance, you are talking about service delivery to the people, not a section of the people. Increasing workers' salary. Workers are just a microcosm of the larger society. Now, salary will benefit only the workers. But when we are talking about good roads, network, it will benefit everyone. When you are talking about quality healthcare delivery system, it will benefit everyone. When you are talking about quality education, it will benefit everyone. But when you are talking about salary, it is just a microcosm of the larger society. Then the government used to pay workers every 25. How do we pay them? When we had it in the Ilumomi, what they normally do, they go to the bank, they suck for loan. He pays. Because when you are talking about monthly allocation to state, it is a statutory allocation. And the statutory allocation is higher than the internally generated revenue. So, monthly allocation to state has increased. When you are talking about revenue generation, under Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it has increased because of issue of what? Multiple taxes. It has increased. And now it has also triggered inflation. Too much money in the economy, chasing fewer goods. So when we are talking about the value of your currency, you are talking about the purchasing power. That how many units of goods can 1 unit of your currency buy in the goods market? So that is germane.
Okay.
So now when you are praising the governor because he's prompt payment of salaries, fine. But it's just favoring who? Just a microcosm of the society. So now we cannot generalize. But when we want to generalize, you look at the issue of what is it doing in terms of road infrastructure, in terms of pipe bomb water, in terms of stable power supply. Because now, when we are talking about power supply in Nigeria, it has been decentralized. So states have that right too, to generate their own power
supply. Oh, okay. We'll be going on a break shortly. But before we go on that break, now let's look at Mr. President. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is the leader of the All Progressives Congress as of today. And then today, as we speak, the executive governor of Enugu State will be joining the All Progressives Congress from the PDP. And also, we have a word, as reported by the dailies, that the governor of Bayelsa State, Doye Diri, would also be moving to the ruling All Progressives Congress. Now, the president seems to be, through his influence and the party, be winning people to the All Progressives Congress. Would you say that is also a populist approach to political, the political game in Nigeria?
I disagree.
Okay.
I am me. I am not you. You cannot be me. I cannot be you. There is one thing you must understand. When we are talking about democracy, government of the people, by the people, and for the people, there are two conditions that political party will always adopt if they want to adopt their own candidate. The first one is popularity. How popular is the candidate? Then number two is acceptability. I see that diversion as a stolen mandate. The people's mandate has been stolen. The people voted for PDP, not for that individual, because that candidate name did not appear on the ballot paper. And you can see PDP accused the ruling APC that if care is not taken, the APC is trying to run a one-party state. And that poses a threat to our nascent democracy. So we are talking about human being as individual. Now, I'm not Dr. Peter Umba. For him to have decided to defect from PDP to APC, I feel there is no argument that is going to present that is morally justifiable. Because he has betrayed the people's trust. The people that voted for him. He has also betrayed the trust of the party. For the party to have reposed the trust in him by giving him that candidacy. It's rather sad and unfortunate. There is one thing I admire about the president. I'm going to tell you today. He has been in the opposition since 1999. He waited till his party came into the realm of affair in 2015. Till he was so fortunate to become the president in 2020. That's a good model.
So what model would you call that?
It's a good model. Yeah. Principle.
Principle what then?
Self-discipline.
Okay. Okay.
Personal conviction.
Okay.
Even when Southwest State became a PDP control state, he was the only one standing. He did not say because of that, let me join them. He is a firm believer in what he believes. So that's a model.
So is he practicing that model now that he is winning many governors from other political parties?
It depends on the strategy, because we overheard it in the rumor mill that he's trying to use the EFCC against certain perceived political enemies.
Well, that's it.
So that is why some of them are trying to say, let me even, you know what Adam Oshomole said? When he was the national chairman of APC, he said, when you come to
APC becoming saints. Your sins are forgiven. So they become saints.
What a model.
So we have Saint Mba joining the APC now. All right. We'll explore pros and cons of Governor Makinde's populist leaning model after this break. Please stay with us. Don't go away.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at DominionCast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Well, interesting outcomes there, interesting discussions off the camera, and we're talking about the peace deal in the Middle East. And someone here in the studio, that's Ignatius Ofino, is saying, well, Trump might deserve an International Peace Award.
Yes, he deserves
it. Welcome back. You said he deserves a peace award.
He deserves
it. He broke out a peace deal.
Yes.
In
I'm excited about President Donald Trump.
And then
he broke out the peace deal. I'm excited about it.
The hostages have been returned.
Yes, I'm excited about it.
You're excited about it?
I'm excited about President Donald Trump.
So we're going to digress a little to talk about that. But if you're looking at you being excited, yes, I'm excited too, but my major concern is how do we wipe off the Hezbollah group, that terror group that is creating havoc within the Middle East?
The fault has always been the Iranian government.
Okay.
The Iranian government, especially the Iranian leader, the spiritual leader, Khatami.
Yes.
He has a role to play. If you look at Iran, the Iranians want greater freedom. There is no democracy in Iran. It's an Islamic Republic of Iran. So it's a religious society. But the people want what we call religious freedom.
Okay.
They want what we call personal liberty. Because we are in modern civilization. We are in modern times.
But they need to imbibe by the model of the anarchism. The anarchism political model.
Actually, the Iranians are revolting against their government.
So there's anarchy now.
Yes, they are actually, they want greater freedom.
So now let's get back to populism. All right. What are the strengths of Governor Seyi Makinde, especially when it comes to his populist-leaning model? What are his strengths?
There is one thing you must know about His Excellency. He's a rich man before he came to power.
Okay.
That was a plus to the state.
Okay.
But anyway, there is one thing we have kept saying over and over again, that greed is the basis of capitalism. And in the rumor mill, it has always been said that most of the contracts being awarded are being awarded to his cronies. And the people are not happy about it. So when we are talking about populism or populist ideal, I remember when the late governor,
that's late.
Christopher Adebayo Alawakala. So that is what the governor is trying to teach to us. So the people are not happy.
No, but let's just look at the strengths first before we look at the weaknesses. Now, with his populist-leaning model, what would you say are his strengths? What are the pros that we've seen so far?
For now, the people still admire him as a gentle governor. Because there is relative peace in the country, in the state for now. Yes, okay. And it's a plus to him. Oyo State used to be a violent state. A violent state. Political instability. You remember when His Imperial Majesty was the governor of Oyo State, when there was impeachment? We all knew what happened during the impeachment saga of Governor Rashidi Ladoja.
Who is down the...
Yes.
Yeah, the Olubadan.
There was a lot of problem there. But there is one thing you must discover that I've discovered about this governor himself. He also introduced something. The youth. He has interest in the youth. Okay. Most local government chairmen you see today, SA, and so, they are youths. So he's a lover of the youth. He's a model. So he's trying to build the youth for the future. But there is one thing I've also discovered. One of the strengths he has today is he's able to control the state assembly. He was able. How he did it, I don't know. Whatever he presents to them, what do you see? Is accepted. So though some people are saying that the state assembly must be compensated for demolition, they are what? Their property. Now, their property. Now, where are the industries? When the governor decided, where are the industries? When the governor decided to say we want to embark, he was not the initiator of Ibadan Circular. He was not the initiator of Ibadan Circular Road. He was never the road. He was never the initiator. But a government is what? A continuum initiator. But a government is what? A continuum. But he decided to do what? To continue with that project. To do what? To continue with that project. But there is one thing that is very fundamental and germane, that the people whose houses were being marked for demolition. They are being marked for demolition. They must be adequately compensated so that we can be able to know that you are a compassionate governor. And those places, there must be industries. We don't need residential estates. What the people need for now is what? Industries. When there's nothing, look, Oyo State is closer to Lagos State. Lagos State is overstretched. There's nothing wrong if the governor decides to go to Lagos State to meet with those business owner firms. That the time has come for you to go and establish your branches in Oyo State. We have given you what we call lots. We have given you what we call land. Just for you to come and have your own branch. Where? In Oyo State. Along Ibadan Circular Road. You know that road cut across 6 local governments. And the length of that road is 110 kilometers. 110 kilometers. That is a long stretch. Very long stretch. But there is one thing you must also consider. Oyo State is a civil service state. So the governor must be willing to transform the state from a civil service state to an industrialized state. You have to do it, especially along that corridor called Ibadan Circular Road. Both left and right, advanced countries of the world. The advanced countries of the world, when you build roads, you don't use it for campaign. Because the people need good roads.
It's already the human right.
Yes.
The rights of the people.
It has been institutionalized in the system.
But we use roads here for campaign.
For campaign. In advanced nations of the world, what they use is that how are you going to make our currency to be stronger? How do you make our economy to be strong? That's the way to go about it. You know, in America, they feel that during Trump's regime, he presented America as a weakling before the rest of the world. But look at Trump today. He said, let's make America great again. He's presenting America as the strongest nation in the world. Look at the peace deal. It's a plus to the American president. Though we have seen countries today aligning outside America. And people are saying it's because of Trump's diplomatic strategies. That Trump is trying to create more enemies than friends, which I actually disagree with them. Because there is one thing that is very germane and fundamental when it comes to issue of public governance. we talk more about human welfare, especially the masses. How many of the masses have you taken away from the streets? How many of the masses have you provided food on their table? So when we are talking about populist ideal, it's different. But now we are having what we call an elicity government. That is what we have, government of the elite.
Okay. Now, I have some messages here. Now, let's go on the app X at Dominion Cast. And then you can bring in your text messages on the number 0916 001 1061. I'll get to read out your messages here. On the app X, there's at Niger Voter. He's saying, is Makinde's model replicable nationwide? That's his question here.
It's a thing of your mindset.
It's a mindset.
Yes. Well, let me give you an example. The late sage, Chief Jeremiah Obafemi Awolowo, GCFR. He was a socialist to the core. But our colonial master has been a capitalist. Capitalists cannot align with socialism. When you are talking about the socialist ideal, you are talking about human welfare that will favor the masses. But when you are talking about the capitalist ideal, you are talking about an ideal that will favor only the few who are capitalists. So for the majority of the people in Nigeria today, especially the masses, they want to tilt towards the socialist ideal. But when you go to the political parties, those who control the political parties in Nigeria today, they are capitalists. So where are the socialists in Nigeria? Where are they? That is where the problem lies. So when we are talking about Seyi Makinde's populist ideal in trying to favor the masses, how do you translate it nationally in the midst of politicians who are already capitalists? In the midst of religious leaders who are also capitalists? That is where the problem lies. Do you know among the masses, we also have moles? Among the masses too.
Oh, okay, so I have another question here, and this is from Aisha from Ibadan asking, does populism risk dividing society?
You see, there is one thing I keep saying. We live in a world of choice. What I like, you may not like. So that has been the issue. So the divide must be there.
Okay.
It's going to be there.
Dissenting views.
Yeah, dissenting views must be there. It's going to be there. Those who are oppressors, they are always happy oppressing the people. But those who want freedom, they will always resist their oppressors.
Okay, I have one more message here, an SMS from Odunayo. Odunayo is sending this from Ologunẹru. It says, what is the future of populism in Nigeria? Yes, I wanted to ask that. What's the future of populism in Nigeria?
That is what we call the threshold of suffering. When there the people will resist and revolt against their oppressors.
Elasticity of...
Yes.
Okay.
They will revolt, irrespective of tribe, religion, region. They will revolt. There is a threshold, the elastic limit. Because when we are talking about hunger, hunger knows no age or race. Look at this man, Martin Luther King Jr. In his dream speech, he said, I have a dream that one day that my children will never be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. It became a populism. That was why when Barack Obama was elected as president, the African American, they were in tears.
The first
in
black.
Africa, yes, the first black. Everybody in Africa celebrated that we have been liberated from the siege of discrimination. So it will happen.
Okay.
It will definitely happen.
Wonderful.
How
insight.
do we sustain it is the issue.
Is the issue. Wonderful insight, Ignatius Ofilo, for featuring on the agenda this morning. Thank you so much for these insights.
Thank you
and
for
I hope
having me.
we have to discuss other political ideologies as time goes on.
Yes.
Well, thank you, the audience, for being there. Let's keep this conversation going. Do follow us on all our social media platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. The handle is at Dominion Broadcast. On the app X is at Dominion Cast. Visit our website at www.dominion.org.nj. Wonderful birthday greetings to Temitope Shitu here from Dominion Brokers Group. Thank you for all you do. My name is Chike Obogo. Enjoy the rest of your day and bye for now.